The HOOC CrossLink service offers different ways of interconnecting distant sites, networks, or even IP end devices. In this video, we are going to show you how you can set up layer 3 connectivity, how you add sites and gateways to the service, and how you can create mappings to end devices. HOOC CrossLink offers different versions of its CrossLink and interconnectivity services. In this video, we are going to take a closer look at the layer 3 connectivity, and you will always find more information about the CrossLink possibilities on our docs page as well as on our homepage or on the YouTube channel. So what's special about the CrossLink on layer 3? Imagine you have sites, different sites on different locations, and they're all using like the same subnet, IP subnetwork or different subnetworks, and you want to be able to communicate from one IP end device to another. The only way to do so would be to reconfigure the whole network and set up new network components. But using the HOOC CrossLink might be an alternative and give you the ability to do a quick setup without having to change the network components on site. This image shows you a simple setup of how a layer 3 connectivity could look like. What you see here is 3 different sites. We are after that going to implement it in the HOOC portal. So we have site 1, site 2. What you can see here, we have 2 different IP subnets. So one is 192.168.4.1 and the other one is 192.168.10.1. So if we would be using our layer 2 connectivity and place a virtual switch between the 2 sites, communication would not be possible simply because of the IP networks. What we are doing now, we are placing a virtual network in between these 2 sites. That's what we call the opt network. So the opt network you can imagine as a virtual layer interconnecting multiple sites. What do we need to do so to get this implemented? We will need to set it up in the first place. We will need to add the gateways to the services. We will need to define an IP subnet, and we will need to add mappings. All this I'm going to show you in the HOOC management portal. First of all, I would create a customer and then add the different sites towards this customer. Once this is done, go to the scope of service individual plan and add the functions needed. In this case, we would need 2 opt or 3, depending on the number of gateways you want to interconnect, and then a virtual site. In this case, the virtual site will be a SCADA system that interconnects directly with 2 PLC systems. Once you have chosen the services, you can go to the service, CrossLink, and enable it. Then you will choose the different sites to be added to the service. In the first part of the setup, I will simply do an interconnectivity between PLC 1 and PLC 2 on site 1 and site 2. So I take IoT, which is my first site, and then I tell or set up the opt network. So I want to communicate using the opt network. The same is true for my second site. And once these 2 networks or these 2 devices have been added to the CrossLink, the service will start and communication in between will be possible. In this view, we also have some tools that can add value in terms of troubleshooting, so you can detect conflict addresses, or you can just simply ping devices if needed. What we've done so far now is we have created this bridge here by adding these two interfaces towards the CrossLink service. In the next step, what we will need to do is set up these two IP addresses. I'm going back to the portal, navigating to the site. Now you see I'm on the gateway with the 4.1. So the 4.1 will need to have the 172.16.16.11. So in here I will be able to set up the opt network. I've already prepared some of the configuration, so you can see here I've chosen a subnet. In this case it's a class C subnet, so I'll be able to communicate between 254 IP end devices. This subnet may change in terms of the need. So the one thing I need to do is give both of these devices the IP address. Once this is done on both devices, we'll just go back to the other one, just simply to show that there is another configuration. So I'm now on the other HOOC device. Go to the opt network. We have another address there, and so basically the first steps are done. Now, if I want to communicate from this PLC to this PLC, two things need to happen. What I need is a local routing from this subnet to the intermediate subnet. And what I will also need is a forwarding on the other end of the device towards the other PLC. This can be done using the routing. So in one device, I will just navigate to the routing tab. In one device, I will say, okay, let's allow routing from LAN to opt. Once this is done, this PLC can communicate with the whole network there. So this router knows it and routes traffic towards the opt interface. Once in the opt interface, it will be able to reach the address here. So this step is done. I need to go to the other device, and on the other device I also need a routing, but it's then a port forwarding. I will need to say in here that the opt interface, its primary address, and now I can choose either a protocol or all protocols. I've chosen here the port 502, which is the port for Modbus communication, and I'm going to forward this traffic on the opt interface towards the IP address of the PLC. So once this is done, this IP address communicates with, or this PLC communicates with this IP address, which then forwards the request towards the PLC in question. And now I have a communication between different networks without having to adapt or adjust IP addresses. I also have a segmentation. There is no traffic in between except of the port 502 that has been opened from the opt network towards the PLC. So it's a pretty easy way. If I want to have a communication from the other side, what I will need to do is just configure the other way around as well. Yeah, these mappings needs to be assigned. If I need more than one IP address, I have the possibility to add what we call alias IP address, and then on each alias, again, you can place port forwardings towards the end devices. So first part of it has been done. If I now want to add a SCADA system that wants to communicate with multiple PLCs at the same time using the CrossLink, all I need to do is add a virtual site, and on the client or on the server where the SCADA system is running, I will need to install a HOOC client that connects up directly to the CrossLink service, and I need to either fix the IP address of the client or use the DHCP, the virtual DHCP of the virtual site. How can this be done? What I need to do is I'll again check if I have the appropriate settings on the individual plan. If that's done, go to the service, just choose the next site I want to add. In this case it's the virtual site. This one goes via the LAN network, so it's directly integrated or connected to the opt interface or the opt network, the virtual one, and gives an uplink. And as soon as this is done and the client starts connectivity, it will reach all these addresses at the same time, giving you the possibility to run virtual SCADA system.